Come on then, talk to me about Leicester, how much there is to like about them now. Going behind, as they did yesterday, to Spurs, Rudiger Bentancur, putting Spurs, the visitors, ahead at the King Power. But wow, did they change the game around Leicester?
Well, if you go back a week, it's Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Ollie Watkins put Villa up, 1-0 up, and then from nowhere, Leicester pound Villa. And then they've done the same yesterday. I tell you what was pretty extraordinary watching the game is now he's got Harvey Barnes, Iheanacho and Maddison, 3, that have now looked like all capable of getting goals. Iheanacho's a bit of... I talked about, Oliver Burke at Millwall, who's a bit of an enigma. I found Iheanacho a really weird guy to predict because his career was littered with being a sub more than a starter at the clubs he's been at. And has always got goals. He's got the FA Cup record, hasn't he, of a number of goals. And that, honestly, that 3 now looks like a really decent front 3. And also at the back, at centre-half position.
I was going to mention that, but all 3 that you've just said there, all getting on the score sheet as well, just in case people aren't aware of the Iheanacho FA Cup stat. He's scored more goals in the FA Cup, 16 since making his debut in the competition, than any other player. So he loves that competition, certainly. And all 3, as I mentioned, got on the score sheet. But I wanted to mention about their defence. Yes, they conceded, but wow, the way that they were able to press Spurs' forwards, giving no time to someone like Harry Kane, for example. He only had 1 shot on target, and I think that was late on in the game. Likewise, Son Heung-min as well. They were brilliant. The way they were able to press and then win the ball and turn it over as quick as they did. They were brilliant. They were fantastic, Leicester.
Absolutely. Now, where did this come from? It was frightening. Leicester were in absolute mire. They were a mess. And from nowhere, they've put in 2 performances that were just sensational in how they've turned around games. Brendan was under serious pressure.
Absolutely.
And look, they've made... I mean, it was interesting a few weeks back when I think Iheanacho scored in the Cup. I remember him doing an interview, Brendan, and he turned around and said, I think we're going to have to play him a lot more now. I think we're going to have to use him. And he's played Iheanacho. He's delivered. Obviously, getting James Maddison back is a big plus. Harvey Barnes' numbers have just been really good all season. But look, full credit. Mendy came in because Tielemans wasn't available. Look, fantastic how Leicester have done it. It just shows you that whatever problem you think you've got at your club, that change-arounds can be quite quick. Because their change-around's been incredible.
Well, when you consider the World Cup obviously interrupted the momentum that they had built, because we all know they got off to a really bad start to the season, but then they picked up, they went on a winning run prior to the World Cup break. Then they started the resumption of the Premier League with 5 games without a victory. And now it's 3 games unbeaten in the Premier League. They've scored 10 goals in those last 3 as well. 8 in their last 2. Yeah. That's the incredible thing as well. They're finding their shooting boots. And maybe part of that is down to the Maddison coming back.
Well, it is. But one thing you do, if you do this in football, it will always give you a chance. If you can pressurise the opposition with a high-tempo style, give time to nobody, because good players will destroy you. If you give them time, they'll get on the ball, they'll lift up their head, they'll find a pass, and they'll be creative. Leicester didn't do that. What did Tottenham do against Man City last week? Exactly that.
Well, that's what's bizarre. You see what Tottenham did last week. Then they come into this game. Yes, they got off to a good start. But wow, like I mentioned already, Leicester completely turned it around. That wasn't the same Tottenham that we saw last weekend, partly because of how well Leicester had played. But does it also not go to show credit maybe to the Leicester board? It's early days still. I'm sure some Leicester fans might not be agreeing with us as yet. But just they had the patience to stick with Brendan Rodgers. And maybe, we talked about it yesterday looking ahead to this, that they've turned a corner. And maybe this is them now looking upwards rather than downwards like they were.
Well, I think it would be a big, for Brendan, a testament that if he left Leicester, he'll get another job quite quickly.
Yeah.
Because he's been a very good manager for a long time. Whether you like some of the stuff that he does or not, he would get another job. It's a bit like when people talk about Klopp and I say, well, yeah, if you lose Klopp and Liverpool decide to make a change, well, he'll be taken immediately. And he might rock up at Real Madrid, he might rock up at Bayern Munich. So I think Brendan is obviously not quite that quality, but someone would take him. He'd get a very good job, Brendan.
And what about Spurs then? The Tottenham assistant was doing the post-match, Christian Stellini. He afterwards questioned the mentality of the players after letting that lead slip. How can they be so Jekyll and Hyde? One weekend being
they weren't allowed. They weren't allowed to be the team that they were last week. Yeah. And City couldn't handle Tottenham, and yesterday Tottenham couldn't handle Leicester. It just shows you the fine lines. And I just think so many of Tottenham's defenders now are not good enough. Week by week, over the course of a season, there's too many that I don't think are good enough for Tottenham as a club to have the ambitions of being in the Champions League. I don't think they got enough good defenders to do that. Romero was out yesterday because he was suspended, but Eric Dyer, to me, he's always been a squad player that's been in and out of the Tottenham team at times and then is held as a hero. I don't see that. I don't see others. Sanchez, who's been there a long time, his performances. Tandao has come into the team yesterday, had a very, very difficult game. Maybe he's not ready. I think there's problems at Spurs, and there has been for a long time with conceding goals.
The Sunday Sports Breakfast with Natalie Sawyer and Tony Cascarino. Sunday mornings from 6 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.